The man to my left, Spencer King.
Who's left?
Yeah. Oh, wait. You're on my right. I was looking at that, and you're on my left up there on the monitor.
Oh, man.
I'm bad at left and right.
It was just backwards all kinds
What are you gonna
of
do?
places.
That's embarrassing.
Oh,
No,
but
I don't care.
But I'm still here.
Yeah. My man in front of me now.
Hey.
Directly in front of me.
Wow.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Sweet.
I loved your stories.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Dude, those books are so good.
Yeah.
You've never read Spawn, have you?
Or PvP. I mean, I didn't even know about PvP, but Spawn was, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
How are we friends?
Maybe we'll find out. I don't know.
Who knows, man? Maybe episode 1 is where it all ends.
True.
Okay. But you also have your intros into the indie comic world.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about those?
I would love to. Here we go.
This feels scripted.
It feels scripted. It kind of sounds scripted.
Like, none of that was scripted, though. Like, I was just talking about it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, and I'm going to talk now, and it's fine.
Oh, you go, because I'm thirsty.
You drink your angular mug.
Okay, so look, this is a TARDIS. Okay, if you know what a TARDIS is, you're fine. Okay, but this is square. It's square.
It's square. And
it's a great mug. I love this mug.
Uh-huh.
But for the sake of the show, I decided to have it on the show.
Yep.
And you can't drink it like a normal person, because if you drink it on the flat edge, it just everywhere.
You can't make it.
So you gotta like teapot it.
It looks like the most inconvenient thing to drink out of.
It's great. It's great.
Like,
I love it.
I'm surprised your teeth aren't more chipped.
Dude, that one's way in the back.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
We're
I have a
on with
broken tooth in the back that I just don't care about.
Yeah, he's a trooper. Or just something else.
Ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comic books. For me.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, okay. Going back before comic books,
Okay.
I kind of like to proclaim myself as a self-discovered nerd. Like, I might have had...
Lofty.
I know.
Lofty.
Well, because, like, some people are fortunate to have, like, their parents introduce them to Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, whatever it might be.
That's fair.
Yeah, and, like, so it's kind of different for them. My parents didn't do that. Like, I know I had friends or someone kind of.
Your parents sucked.
Yeah, I don't like talking about it.
They're probably going to watch this, so I just made sure I said that.
Yeah, good. I'm going to plow right through that one. But in a good way. So comic books, like, again, like, like all the nerd things, like, they kind of have to be there. Someone does have to give you an in, right? Like, sometimes you could just be dinking around on the internet.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know if I agree with that. Well,
Okay.
So we grew up in very different. So you grew up where you can dink around the internet. I was alive when the internet was made.
Well, see, I
had AOL with that bang, bang, that the whole dial-up thing.
All of it.
Yeah.
So, well, same. I mean, I was younger, but, like, I didn't. Back when I was first discovering this stuff, it wasn't through the internet. It was through, like, a random friend who was like, "Let's watch Star Wars."
I'm trying to think
what's
how I
that?
discovered comics. I don't actually. I think I found a comic book like we were going on an airplane.
Okay.
In, like, that bookstore.
Yeah.
I think I just bought one.
Okay.
And then immediately fell in love and wanted it to be my life.
Okay.
And then I forced my parents when we got home to drive me to a comic book store.
There you go.
Yeah, but nobody introduced it to me.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
what I'm saying is, like, I feel like
That's
when it
interesting.
comes to, like, different nerd things, like, you do have to be open and receptive to it in a certain way, because otherwise you can just sweep it to the side and move on with your life.
I don't mean to interrupt, but that is the most true for, I would say, prior generations.
Right.
Because if you were into this stuff when I was a kid,
right, you get beat up.
you did not tell people.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you did not.
Because you get beat up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were reading comic books like you would. I remember one time, like, I had a comic book in the locker.
Yeah.
And I was shutting a locker, and a kid saw the comic book.
Uh-huh.
And the locker was shut, and he was like, "Was that a comic book?" And I was
No.
It was like my mom found porn. I was like, "No, what are you talking about? Shut up, loser."
You don't know me.
Yes, and then he was like, "No, I saw Daredevil." And then I was like, my brain put it. I was like, "Wait, how do you know what Daredevil is?"
Oh, I got you now, nerd.
So then he was like, "No, I read comics too."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, sweet, another dude that like, yeah." So
Nice.
then we would talk about comics, but never in front of people.
Sure.
Yeah, like when we were skipping out of PE because of physical activity. Yeah. So we would talk about comic books while all the cool kids were playing like sport of some kind.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
So I'm
nowadays you can like have friends and tell everybody.
But as I'm gaining age, I'm gleaning different nerd.
You were
things.
gaining age?
I was.
Sweet.
Yeah, it wasn't
I didn't
hard.
know you could get.
Doesn't
gain age?
one way or another.
Sweet.
And so I'm picking up different things that I like. You know, Star Wars is a big one. And shut me down.
Star Trek.
That's cool. So
Star Trek is cool.
I get to college. I made it to college.
You're at college now.
I'm at college.
College man.
I mean, before then, I know like there was like talk. Like I knew I liked Batman, right?
Okay.
I knew I liked Batman because of maybe movies or things. I was a huge fan of him. I mean, he's just a dude.
Have you seen the Michael Keaton Batman movie by this time in your life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
So you're familiar with that?
Yes, and
All right.
Batman Returns, like which I did
so
enjoy.
I don't know how old you were. I should know how old you were in college because I've pretty much known you shortly after that.
Right.
Yeah. So most Batman movies were out by the time you were in college.
Yeah, this is 2008-9.
Oh, shut up.
I know.
Whatever.
Well, it was my third year transfer. You know, it's a thing.
2008 in college.
2008 in college. Here I am. I know. It's fine.
It's okay. Oh, you touched me.
I know.
Are we allowed to do that on the internet?
I don't know. We'll see if we get shut down or not.
Sweet. All right.
Maybe for other reasons. Okay. And so I'm in college. I kind of already have this foundation for Batman, and I got this friend.
Okay.
His name's Grant.
Grant.
A great friend of mine. Ended up being my ultimate frisbee captain.
Ooh, nice.
And I will still follow him.
You still play for
I'll toss a
whatever
D.
the heck it's ultimate frisbee.
Ultimate frisbee.
You toss the B?
The D.
Do we call it the B?
No, the D. Come on. You toss it.
So you toss this
The disc.
D with this dude?
You toss. It's a disc.
So you and D are just you and Grant are throwing around the D.
True. Very true. So you know we're close. And
More than I realized at first.
Yeah. But what was really cool is that we lived in this house, and there's like 10 of us living in this house. It's, you know, we're in Chicago.
There's a lot of D.
There's, yes.
Okay.
A lot of us
Happening.
played Frisbee. It's true.
Yeah.
And what was really cool is in this one room, Grant was putting up his comic books like on the wall. Like you got your bag and board, you put sticky stuff on one side,
Bag and board.
and you put it on the wall.
Yeah.
And he made a library of comic books for us.
Ooh.
And
For you all to peruse
absolutely.
at your leisure.
And so it was Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin.
Oh.
And but more so than that, I want to say it was Jim Lee and Frank Miller's All-Star Batman and Robin.
I don't. That's not ringing a bell.
Was it Frank Miller? No, yeah, it was. And so it was these Batman and
I'm
Robin.
literally drawing a
books.
blank on that.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm not questioning you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
Dude, it's good. It ends.
I feel like I've read it. Like I would have read it.
Right. No,
Anyways.
if you haven't, you should. It does end though, like when it shouldn't, because Jim Lee. I don't know. I got like too busy owning DC or something. So
Just real quick sidebar. How much do we love Jim Lee?
oh my gosh, you guys, Jim Lee is definitely our comic book hero.
Yeah. So let's just say that we love Jim Lee so much to get into the computer that is recording this.
Right.
His name is
It's part of the password.
the pass.
Yeah. No, it's a good
It's the
one.
most appropriate part.
It's definitely the most appropriate part.
Yeah.
And so
We love Jim Lee.
yeah. But amongst all the other things,
And his penciling.
that are
Did I make you nervous there?
a little bit.
Sweet.
That are on Grant's wall. There was also this one
Ooh.
by issue.
Dude, look at that little picture back there. Okay. Real quick.
Yeah,
Is that my boy, John Romita Jr.?
that is.
This is literally... Okay, so I don't read Kick-Ass. But this is literally the only John Romita book that I did not ever pick up.
Wow.
One of my greatest...
There it is. That's the first
I
thing.
wonder how the mics picked that up. This is one of the greatest regrets. I wish I had picked this
Wow.
up
Right.
originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now
We're gonna do-
motion picture and
Yeah, now
All
I
that.
feel like I'm just bandwagoning it because it was super popular.
but it is good though, and
I know.
it is different.
I'm
like,
just looking at the artwork on
the
the back.
movie-
Like I'm gonna show the back. Look at that. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Well, lights. There we go.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
The movie,
John
I
Romita
think,
Jr.
did a good
Sure.
job at making this story, you know, good for the screen.
Bruh.
I mean, it's cinematic enough as it is, as some of the better comic books can be.
Dude, you just keep talking. I'm gonna sit with this for a little bit.
Yeah, that's just fine. And yeah, so there was issues, and I'm picking them up, and it was, I guess you could say it was kind of that perfect bridge. into non-superhero things because it's like the anti-superhero book, right?
Well, kind of, right? I mean, I've only seen the movie.
Right.
So how close to the movie is the book?
It's very close.
Okay.
It is.
So it's like it's anti what I would call like superheroes power, like superpowers
Right.
superhero.
Right.
Like cuz these kids they're like regular kids.
He straight up was just done with his boring life and was like, I'm going to wear tights and a mask.
That was my favorite part of the story is that they
Right.
didn't try to like, he got bit by a radioactive cockroach and now he can
Right.
lift, buildings over his head.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, John Romita Jr., dude.
Yeah,
seriously.
he's good.
Gosh, darn, I love his work.
Yeah, he's real good. And so yeah, and it was really cool. Well, and it was other Mark Miller things that was also there that I would read.
Who, if he wrote on a bar napkin what he was going to buy at the grocery store in a month, I would pay money to read that.
It's like everything he does. I mean, I haven't read everything, but I just feel like it's get me more of those stories, which are happening, which is great.
And what a time to be a comic book fan.
Yeah.
Because these dudes, Romita, Miller, like all these guys are going out and doing indie comics now.
Right.
So good.
It is.
So good.
Oh gosh, it's really cool.
Like we're literally looking at
This was closer to the beginning. It was my beginning.
Sure. What
Yeah,
I'm
it was
saying is
definitely my
like
beginning.
this would never be a Marvel or DC book ever.
Right.
And I've learned over the years, like, I'm not crapping on Marvel or DC. They have like their own game plan, right? They're not really trying to push the boundaries of what can and cannot happen in comic books because they have their business model. They have their like superheroes, with the 75, 80 years of storytelling, which God, I don't even know how you tell an interesting story of a character. It's 80 years old.
No.
Like seriously, that's
Right.
incredible.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder's still managing to do it,
Whew.
which another writer that I'd love,
Yes.
that you love, we
All-
love,
yes.
all the love.
All more.
So much love.
Yes.
Yeah, but like this is an indie book, and like I was just flipping through it, and my heart hurt because I'm like, dude, that looks so good.
You may or may not be taking this home with you tonight.
I may or may not be ordering that.
And what's really
when
cool is that
we hit stop.
there's a Kick-Ass 2. And,
Yeah, I know that's like
And
recent.
a Hit Girl like interlude. I think it takes place after Kick-Ass, before
Now,
Kick-Ass 2.
Kick-Ass 2 is more recent because I feel like I've seen
Uh-huh.
books.
Well, Kick-Ass 3 is out now.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm seeing Kick-Ass 3.
I haven't picked that one up yet just because, the pile. We all know how that pile grows. Sometimes stuff doesn't get bought when it should.
If I'm gonna take a picture.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a picture of my
All right.
to read pile.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm gonna post it to the Twitter for this show.
Yeah.
Which is @Reverse Meltdown on Twitter. Because I'm not kidding you, bro. My to read pile is probably taller than this book.
Of like single issues.
Single issue stacked.
Just stacked on.
Just
that's
so
a lot.
bad.
That's
I
a
have
lot.
such a problem.
Yeah. Well, so Kick-Ass got me in.
So this gets you in there.
Yeah, it gets me in there.
This whets your appetite.
It does. I'm wafting
Okay.
the independent smells.
Okay. Yeah, you're like
Just yeah.
the bouquet is somewhat interesting.
And the wall in this room of comic books at the House of Windsor.
Yeah, the D house.
Yeah, the Windsor.
Let's call it the D house.
We could. It went by
the House of D.
a different name. But there was this book that like by
was it
issue.
the Rooster House?
It was, gosh, I can't even sometimes. What is happening? There were a couple issues, and just like definitely the art attracted it to me.
Now we're getting into a
at
book
first.
that we both obsess over.
Lady Mechanica.
If you're not reading this,
Holy crap! This Kick-Ass was fun and all, but
Okay.
this is the book that opened my eyes, like legitimately opened my eyes to just a different world of what I could be reading. And I'm like, again, just in the beginning, but I wanted more of this book.
just preach. Now listen, I don't mind admitting,
Right,
I did not know about this book.
right.
And it is maybe in the top 3 things that you have introduced in my life. And what a book.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like,
Right. No.
Okay. So
well,
explain to them who have no idea, because Kick-Ass was a movie. So if
Right.
you don't know
Yeah.
what Kick-Ass is, go away.
it's been out in the world long enough.
But Lady Mechanica, you probably don't know what this is. So
Right.
what is Lady Mechanica?
Lady Mechanica. It takes place in Victorian England, but steampunk. Like
it's a steampunk book.
it's a steampunk book.
But here's the great part. It's not a steam. It's like, okay, you know how like you see things that are steampunk,
Right, and you're like, oh, cool
they're like-
mashup, bro.
Like, oh, I'm so steampunk. Like, oh,
Right.
here's a Zeppelin.
Look at my pocket watch.
Yeah, look, there's
Oh.
gears on my glasses.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, it's so like, oh, they're trying to be so. There's none of that in this book.
Right.
Like, there's that stuff. Like, there's like robotic stuff, but Joe Benitez, author,
and
artist.
and Peter Steigerwald.
Yep. Who I think does colors or
Yes.
and co-artist.
Right.
He does, like background stuff and
Joe Benitez and Peter Steigerwald are the creative team.
yeah.
For this book.
So I'm gonna talk specifically story, not art, because
Okay.
art needs its own thing. This is it. It is so. It's equally subtle
Yep.
and will satisfy anybody who's like, I'm not really into steampunk, but
Right.
you know, like whatever. Like, I just want an interesting story. So it's subtle enough for that person to be like, okay, I don't care about steampunk, but this is a great comic.
Yeah.
And then if you love steampunk,
Yep.
it's there enough.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he manages to balance this.
Right.
It's so good
Yeah.
that you're like, this might be the greatest steampunk comic ever.
Nothing else steampunk will do it for me.
Nothing.
Like, this was my first introduction really to steampunk, and it ruined the rest of steampunk
Seriously,
for me.
imagine, like, okay, whatever your favorite food is, just take your favorite food,
Pancakes.
okay, and then from your favorite restaurant that serves pancakes.
IHOP.
Okay, so not him. Good. I was really.
No, I'm just, for the sake of your example.
Where is not IHOP?
Okay, so grandma's house. Just grandma's pancakes. You're getting real
Okay.
hung up.
Okay, so I want to use this analogy, and it's just grandma's house pancakes ain't gonna cut it. Okay, so imagine your favorite food is like steak.
'Kay.
Okay, your favorite just like a filet mignon steak.
From IHOP.
I hate you. I hate you so much. If I ever see you eat a steak at IHOP, I'm going to throw it in. I'm going to just tip it into your lap.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
fine.
And
Please.
because it'll probably be better after that. So anyways, and just the fanciest, nicest, the best steak you've ever eaten. Okay?
Right.
Just the best, just tender, juicy, best steak you've ever eaten.
Yeah.
Now imagine that was your very first meal.
Right.
And then your next meal is like, saltines.
Right. Carrots.
Right. Yeah, get out of here. Like you could not go from like that steak to like
just
like a cheeseburger
to
from
nothing
like
averageness.
or like like some whatever. It's like I
That-
don't know
that
if I could
really
ever
is-
read a steampunk. Now I will say that there's
Yeah.
a couple of books that are steampunk-ish
Sure.
that I read.
Yeah.
But this one is just it's like leaps and bounds better than just. This is in my top 3 books.
And that goes
that
with,
I'm reading.
that goes with the art.
Right.
With how it goes. And like honestly, like I can't describe better than USA Today did on the back of this trade. If stop,
Just gonna read it?
No, it is that good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend I came up with it. If the story itself weren't so intriguing and well written, the books would be worth purchasing for the visuals alone. And like for real,
It is. It's gorgeous.
It is like, to put it that succinct is.
I just realized though we still haven't mentioned. So we said steampunk, and then we
Right.
stopped talking about what Lady Mechanica is.
Right. Okay. So she is this lady,
Who is Mechanica?
Well, but she's Mechanica. Well, that's what the newspapers called her.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Like most superhero names.
Yeah, she has to have a cool name, and
She
Lady
does.
Mechanica's a cool one.
Lady M. Anyway, she like basically kind of wakes up. We don't really see when she wakes up.
Right.
We kind of jump into after that sort of introduction.
So if you zero issue, you
Yeah.
kind of get.
She's kind of already that like demon hunter.
She's like detective-ish.
Right.
So it's really a detective book. Let's just start
Right.
there.
Yeah.
So it's a detective book set in steampunk Victorian England.
Yep.
And
She's got mechanical limbs.
so she's
That's
got
the
mechanical
thing.
limbs in issue 1.
She wakes up like no memory.
Right.
She's got mechanical arms and legs, and it's like she's making a name for herself, like fighting off the bad things, but also searching for what the
Yeah,
frick
like she
happened.
wants to know what happened to her.
Yeah.
And then in Zero issue, which came later, like
Well, no, I think that was the first one.
Zero. I thought
Zero was.
I thought
like,
one came out first, and then he did a Zero.
Maybe the same time, but what happened here? Because okay, we're
Whatever.
going back to North Park.
There's a Zero.
We're going back to North Park University, where I graduated back in
the D house.
Chicago, in the D house, and yeah, because that's a thing now.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys.
Yep.
But the story stops because Joe Benitez was being published at Aspen Comics.
Yep.
But something happened.
Right.
Some kind of falling out, and Joe wanting to start just his own company, his
Right.
own business. But that meant that after issue 3 or 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
you get this story
With Aspen.
Right. But then nothing for a couple years.
For a while.
It was seriously like I was a little crushed when I
Yeah.
like legitimately was looking for those next books, and it took too long. I mean, it's a lesser known book for someone to tell me like, oh yeah, it got canceled.
Yeah.
You know, but then it came back.
Yeah. Then he brought it back.
Joe Benitez started up his own
Benitez Productions.
Benitez Productions.
Yeah.
And we've got now 2 volumes.
Yep.
Of Lady Mechanica.
Yeah.
The third one going now. It's like set in like Day of the
De
Dead.
La Muerte.
La Dama de la
Whatever
Muerte
it is, yeah.
is what like it's kind of called, if I'm getting that right. And
So, the thing that gets me about this book.
yeah,
Okay, and we can get back to the art in a second because the art's it's unbelievable. But the way I describe this book to people is, so you have a female lead, which is great.
Yes.
I love that.
yes,
Especially because she is strong,
yes,
feminine,
yes,
and not sexualized. So those are my 3 favorite things when you put a female lead into a comic.
right.
Like, I'm so tired of just the arch back and the wild, they call it presenting poses.
Yes,
I'm over it. Like
the fan servicey panels.
I'm over it.
just-
Seriously,
yeah.
like, come on. Like, the internet exists if you're looking at stuff, you don't need comics to look at stuff.
Right.
I'm tired of it.
Right. Same.
So, this doesn't do that. And I think you and I have had this conversation like many times.
Right.
Like, she's feminine, she's attractive, but she's not sexualized, and I'm slightly terrified of her.
She's a
because
strong, independent woman.
She don't need no man.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's great. Like
It is.
She's like a female Sherlock Holmes ish.
No, that's it.
But I wouldn't say Sherlock. I don't want to say Sherlock Holmes and pigeonhole her, like stereotype
Right,
her,
because it's not
because
near
she
that
doesn't-
detective-y.
Yeah, she's not like 30 steps ahead and like, oh, I noticed a paper on a doorway while we were driving, and none of that crap.
We're not in her like mind,
No,
and
no.
it's not page after page of her thinking
No.
about stuff.
It's far more. There's tons of action, like huge character development. Like you really like the extra characters that come in, to lead her around and stuff for the story.
Yeah.
They're all like he gets depth on them. Like they're
Yeah.
not stereotypical. Dude, it's such a good book. Like I just go pick up the volume with the first 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And 5. I think it goes up to 6.
Is there 6 up? Whatever
Yeah.
it is, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
it's just they're so good.
They are. They
Like,
really are. And what's
if
really
you read it and you don't like it, maybe I don't know, see a therapist because there's something wrong. It's so good,
I mean, yeah, but let us know like how you feel about these books.
dude. Yeah, absolutely. If you read it, if we're talking about a book and you read it, throw it in the comments. We will lose our minds. We
Yeah.
will seriously like, yeah,
We want to see like your guys' opinions too. We're just two
Because-
grown men, right?
yeah. That are way too obsessed with this stuff.
It's a thing.
It's really borderline addiction.
Yeah. No, but read these books if you have read them. Let us know how
Yeah,
you feel.
You can go on the blog, reversemeltdown.com. I've written about Lady Mechanica a few times. Talk about that
Yeah.
stuff there. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Comic Devour.
Right. I am at the sweetest brag.
Yep, you can talk to us there.
Yep.
But yeah, kick-ass Lady Mechanica, bro. Those are good calls.
I mean, it only started me on a journey that I have loved and have been obsessed with ever since.